I'm at 3531 Finnell Court in Independence, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access is an outside clean out in the rear of the house. Not really in the center, closer to the right side, just next to the hot tub with there's a rock kind of right in front of it, but we'll kind of show you. We've got the clean out there. There is the downspout that comes in. There's the back door. Just kind of an idea where it is. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back upstream and go back into the house. That way we can try to look at the stuff on the inside first. Hope we don't leave too much stuff on the front of the camera there. So it pretty much climbs up almost immediately, kind of twice. Before it goes in. We got something in front of the camera here. That happens a lot when you're pushing upstream just because of you're pushing it against flow, and so if there's any toilet paper or anything like that. I am restricted. Obviously, I can only go the direction the camera goes because of there's no actual way for me to steer this camera. It just goes straight, and so we won't be able to inspect every single line or every branch, I should say. But the main line is what we're looking for. So we'll inspect as much pipe as we can. We'll run water and look at a few fixtures to kind of make sure that we're trying to make sure that there's water coming through those legs. The ones that are on fixtures, some of them are on like floor drains and stuff, so you may not have any water coming out of those. I am over to, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see the angle of the camera. I'm pointing straight up, and you can watch that as I pull back, and you'll see where we flatten out. That means we're at the high end stack, and so this is the beginning of the main line. And so everything looked great on the inside, but I am going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to I will run some water. I'm going to pull back. Well, there's somebody running water now, and so that's good. Somebody is running the upstairs. So sometimes, like I said, you'll have that water hit right back in the face of the camera, but that's not a big ordeal. We've already seen all this, and so that's good. Plus it gives us an opportunity to kind of check functionality on the line also. So as we turn, we should be coming up on, okay, I actually think that there's something coming out of the left one right now too. Could be testing the fixtures. So that actually works out pretty well, allows us to kind of see what's going on here, or just to make sure that the line is functioning properly. And they will test the fixtures for that reason. They test the individual fixtures to make sure that they're not backing up, like because of the drains on those individual fixtures with hair clogs and stuff like that. And so these will be run. So that's what is going on now, is the home inspectors in there running water for the for that reason. So you can see the water coming at us. We're just going to watch it because there's a little belly before this thing drops off. It's pretty common to have a little bit of settling, and so with all the water running, we're just going to watch all the stuff as it leaves. Make sure everything's moving well. Then when I push up against all this junk. It's hard with the water running. It's not much, it's barely covering the camera. With the water running, it kind of does that. So, not a problem. It's just it's overtaking everything well. And now we're going to go downstream and go out towards the main. And so you can see it automatically went over to this. This is new enough to where they used SDR35 on the exterior. It's still PVC, it's just green. It's rated for exterior use. The connections are a little different in spots. They're gasketed to allow a little bit of movement. The stuff on the inside is Schedule 40, which is just it's a different rating system. That's why one is Schedule 40 and the other one is SDR 35. Which is a different way of rating the pipe size and the pipe wall thickness and stuff like that. You know that the manhole behind the house that you can see down in the swale for the storm. And based off of placement, this may go right into the manhole. We should be able to see that. Back into schedule 40, which is a little odd because they would have used this out there, but also depends on when the house was built versus when the sewers were put in, so stuff and here we are at the sewer main. So everything looked really good. I didn't really see any issue. There's a belly, about a 5 to 6 foot belly just upstream of this clean out, and so I'm going to I'll mark it on the report, but it's not abnormal to have something like that, and it will overtake it relatively easily. We didn't see any solid buildup in that area. Basically those low spots like that, as long as it's not, you know, extended and something major, you know, the size of the pipe, as long as it's not the whole thickness of the pipe and the pipe damage and all that. That happens pretty common. It's a pretty common occurrence as far as like once they put the line in and they backfill. Sometimes you'll just have a low spot where the line kind of sunk a little bit. But the water will just overtake it, especially with PVC. Everything is glued together, and as long as the water is not leaching out, which would indicate something being actually broken, then the water just kind of overtakes it and just lifts up that inch or whatever of water, and then it overtakes it well. And so it's not anything that's obstructing flow, but it's going to be something that you want to be aware of. I always do want to always want to mention that you shouldn't be using wet wipes at all in these lines. Now, you can tell pretty easily that there's, you don't see any toilet paper, you don't see anything in these lines, and that's the way it works. Usually, when it's working well, is that when you flush this stuff a couple times, run some water, all that stuff should escape the pipe relatively easily, and it is going to. You can tell by the water that's being run. Now, hopefully, the water has stopped, and we'll be able to, or we can stop the water before the end. And I'll go back upstream just to check. It's approximately between 9 feet and 15 feet upstream, which really is just up top. It's right before a drop off, and so that's really common that it does that. I'm not sure why that is, but it's very common when we're going upstream again. You can see as we go up, then when we go up and then drop, so you'll see a little bit right there at the bottom of a drop off, and then when you go up here, it's the same thing. For some reason, this is very, very common when they do drop offs like this, is that right before that drop off there'll be a little edge, and the mold and stuff that sits in there is kind of frustrating because, see, it's not as much as you think. So it's from about 16 to 9. It's right here, right before it drops off. But you can see from here, it's not the width of the whole pipe. It's maybe 1.5 inches, but that camera lens is only about 1/2 inch off the bottom of the pipe. And so it is something to be aware of, but it's not obstructing flow. It's not holding a bunch of solids. But it is something. I will mark it. And, you could have it evaluated by a licensed plumber to see their evaluation on the severity of it. But I mean, every fixture you have has a U-trap in it, like it's not a U-trap, it's shaped like a U. They say that so that you kind of know what I'm talking about. But it has a trap on it that holds water at all times. And you use kind of a siphoning effect where, as long as the downstream side is lower than the upstream, the water goes right through it, just like in your toilet or on your sink. And so a little bit of a belly like this, a short belly is not a major issue. So just wish we could tell exactly how deep it is, because I can see it, but I'm still going to go ahead and pause the video and get a locate just to kind of see exactly where it is. I mean, we do know it's coming right underneath this back room, but I just want to take a look for a minute. So I'm going to pause the video. I mean, so it's just right here, it's foundation. It's not unusual to have it right here, just to have that little bit of a belly. But again, it shouldn't cause any backups or anything like that. It's just a low spot, and the water will just basically rise to that level and overtake it. And so so 10 to 16, and it is a minor belly. And obviously, once you get to that point, it drops off completely. So I mean, you still want to avoid using wet wipes and stuff like that, but everything should overtake that relatively easily. Just don't flush anything you're not supposed to. But it will be marked on the report. A minor to medium belly, between 10 feet and about 16 feet upstream of the outside cleanout. But again, it's not obstructing flow, and as long as used normally, should not affect the overall flow of the line. So everything else looked wonderful. The line from here out to the main was in great shape. Everything else on the interior looked great. Just that little belly right before it drops off and comes into this clean out. So that's going to end the inspection at 3531 Finnell Court in Independence, Kentucky.